Welcome to the Empowered Wife podcast, where it's all about fixing your relationship without your man's conscious effort so that you feel desired, taken care of, and special, even if your relationship feels hopeless right now. I'm Laura Doyle, and today I'm going to let you eavesdrop on a real, actual relationship coaching call. Have you ever wondered how our relationship coaches help women transform their marriages without their husbands even knowing about it? Well, today I'm going to let you behind the curtain to hear this actual coaching call. And it's not just any coaching call. This was an exam for the coach who was still a trainee after spending a year in relationship coach certification. And she was coaching a real client who was beautifully open and receptive to the coaching. And I was thinking about you if you've never experienced relationship coaching from a certified Laura Doyle relationship coach before, because you might think, well, is there any real difference between relationship coaching and marriage counseling? I mean, aren't they pretty much the same thing? And this is where I get very animated because I'm like, oh, no, no, it is not the same. There's a gigantic difference between what our certified relationship coaches do and marriage counseling. So don't get me started. But instead of telling you about all the many ways relationship coaching is more effective and also enjoyable, we got special permission to play this actual session for you so that you can hear for yourself why our relationship coaching approach is so special and so effective and enjoyable. And as you eavesdrop on this coaching conversation, like a fly on the wall, see if you hear the coach telling the client what to do. See if you hear that. Does she tell her what to do? Does she ever say? Ask yourself that as you listen. And if you're anything like me, you don't do very well when someone tells you what to do. I seem to have a very contrary nature that way. I like to do the opposite of what someone tells me to do, even if it just like doesn't serve me very well. Yeah, I'm a rebel like that. So I invite you to just ask yourself, does the coach ever tell the client what to do? And by the end of the call, does the client know what to do? Does she have a plan? Is she going to take some action? Those are the two questions I want you to ponder as you listen. So I'm not telling you what to do. No, 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 in case you're a little rebel like I am. I'm inviting you to be curious about what you're hearing. If you're like I was and you spend a lot of time in counseling, then it can be pretty mind-blowing and even jarring to hear our unique coaching methodology. It's something I want every woman to experience. I would love it. That is my dream that every woman would get to experience our flavor of relationship coaching. But until then, I wanted to let you eavesdrop. So here it is. Here's the recording. Enjoy. Ask yourself those questions.
Hi, Lisa. I'm so glad to be your coach today.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, where would you like a breakthrough in the skills today?
Um, well, I think I'm actually pretty new to the skills. I think I read The Empowered Wife probably, well, it was right after Mother's Day. So it's not been too long now. I think that one thing I'm struggling with right now is feeling impatience with, wanting to see results. What I can say is there have been results pretty immediately, to the point where my husband definitely noticed a change in how I acted toward him. And we had a couple nights where we actually sat down and he wanted to know what was going on, and I basically told him, and he was like, wow, things have changed. We'd had a couple dust ups and arguments since then, but I've really taken a viewpoint of just suck it up and keep going. I'm not a person who gives up very easily, which is good. But the thing that I struggle with sometimes is we have very busy lives. We both work full time. We have two kids. One is 10, one is 6, and they both are attached to me whenever I'm at home. And so literally the only time my husband and I even get to speak with each other is late at night. And that's if that even happens, because usually once the kids are in bed, he's off in his office doing things. So I feel like I've, been dealing with some impatience and some frustration that I haven't been able to, use the skills or really show him. Um, so that I've been kind of struggling with. And then on top of that, with just one other thing I wanted to mention. Sorry, my cat wants to lay on me. Um,
Mhm. Okay.
self-care. I love that part of this, and I've really been trying to work with that. But one thing I'm struggling with that is that I'm a person who one of my things that makes me feel better mentally is if I am accomplishing tasks. So,
Mm,
for example, I will physically exhaust myself, or I will deal with physical exhaustion just to finish that task list or to get through those charts for work or something, because I feel like if I do those, I will feel better and more at peace.
mm,
But then I'm exhausted and burnt out, and I know that's not the way to go about this, but for some reason, I have this mentality of just push, push, and get these things done, and you'll feel much better. And I guess making that my self-care. So anyway, those are just two main things that I'm kind of struggling with and have caused some issues. So I didn't know if you had any insight into that.
yeah, wow. That sounds really painful and really, um, I guess lonely that you and your husband really have busy lives. And I hear that you basically come home and your kids are right on top of you, and you only get time late at night, even though your husband will still go to the office. And I hear that there's a lot going on in your life. And I hear the second part is that you also would like a breakthrough with the self-care part, that you really feel you really have the need for accomplishing things and getting things done. And even though it will exhaust you, you just have the need to get things done. Is that right? Am I do I have
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. So I can so because we have a limited time, which one would you like to focus on?
I think the first one, which is, feeling like there's no time and just frustration with not being able to have enough time with him. I don't know if that's anything that can be helped or if it's just you have to roll along with what your life gives you and just trust the process that maybe, there will be more times to implement the skills, but it's just, I feel like I have been so blown away with how the system and the intimacy skills are that I had such excitement in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is everything she's talking about is exactly what I want. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the way things used to be
Mm-hmm.
prior to us, I mean, when we first got married and prior to kids, this is the way he was like that. And it's like I miss all that, the way he, the cherishing and the need to please me and all that stuff. And it's just, but when I read the book, it was just like everything she mentioned about how, you know, Laura's life with her husband and how she was controlling and just that's been totally me. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that. And when him and I talked, like 2 weeks into me doing this, I basically told him, I acknowledge I've been controlling and I acknowledge that I've been on your paper and I acknowledge I've been emasculating you and I acknowledge I've acted like a child, like a petty, selfish child at times and not in trying to be, but just did. And he was just so blown away by that. Like it's something
Mm-hmm.
he knew this whole time and was just like so excited that I was acknowledging it. But, at the same time, it's just frustrating because I'm so happy to have found this. I'm so, motivated to do it. But it's just like it's a slow process because there's just so many roadblocks and there's so many restrictions. But yeah, I mean, you I've been listening to some of the group coaching calls and the podcasts and hearing how
Hmm.
people are like, oh my gosh, I had like such a turnaround. My husband was doing this and buying me this and offering to help with this and within like 2 or 3 weeks and I'm sitting here like, ah. Yeah.
Wow. I really hear how accountable you are, and your husband just is loving it. And I want to ask you, what do you think is getting in the way of it being all that you want to?
Well, well, a couple of things. Well,
Hmm.
obviously the physical limitation and like if I had more time to be with him, I think to do things to interact,
Hmm.
um, that would help. But also, I think right now we're at a very busy time in our life. We have so many like house projects going on, and he's got like a massive list of things to do around the house, and he's a person who struggles with procrastination and ADD. And so one of the things that I'm struggling with now doing the intimacy skills, but also like, honey, we have to get these things done, and I'm having to really work on duct taping and stopping my need for things to be done, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think that that's probably been getting in the way too, because I've really been having to rein in my trying to get on his paper and tell him to reminding him we need to do this or you think we should go ahead and do this today because, you're not doing anything. We don't have a lot of time. But, I think that I'm struggling to rein that in and stop that behavior and that thinking and just let things happen at his own course. But then I get frustrated because I'm like, well, he would do things more and he would step up on his own more if I had more time to show him the intimacy skills and give him that motivation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's me overthinking it, I guess, but
I hear there's so much going on and life is busy. And I hear that you're also really implementing the skill with putting on duct tape and relinquishing control and really holding yourself back. And that's incredible. I want to let you know, I really can relate to your situation with just not having time, so many things going on. And I didn't have any time for self-care or anything. And my marriage was really suffering because of it. It was just in a dark, dark place. We were barely talking to each other and we just irritated each other so badly. And the first skill that I implemented was gratitude. And it really shifted my perspective. I would really focus on the good things in my husband. I would little things that he would do, and I would jump on it and I would send him a text or tell him directly, like, thank you so much. That was in the beginning. And as things got better and I now that it's gotten so much better, I automatically find so many things to thank him. And usually it's like at least three a day, but usually it's like five, six things a day. I just made it a habit, which like everything that he does good. So once he came home and I just had cleaned the floors and he took off his shoes when he came home. And he never did that. He never took off his shoes when he came home. And I told him, oh my God, thank you so much for taking off your shoes. I really appreciate that. And every day after that, he started taking off his shoes. And another thing is like he cleaned up the living room one day and he never cleaned up the living room. He would always eat in there and he would leave it like a mess. And I just jumped on it and I said, thank you so much for cleaning up the living room. And then I added, I really appreciate it. It makes me feel so taken care of. And he just cleans up the living room almost every night. And it's been such a game changer for me, the gratitude. Even myself, it just made me more of a happy person. And look, it made my perspective in life changed. Like, I'm grateful for my friends, the people in my life. I'm grateful for the skills. I'm grateful for everything, for the sunshine, for the rain. I'm just grateful. It's just more pleasurable to walk through life with an outlook of gratitude. And I was wondering, I hear there's so much going on in your life and your kids and your husband and everything else, and you both work full-time jobs. How would it fit for you to implement three gratitudes a day towards your husband, or maybe text him or let him know? How would that fit for you?
Yeah, I like that. That's one thing that I've been trying to do and trying to remember to do because I feel like with the limitation time that I have, I can do that. It's not
Mhm.
something that requires a long conversation or even being awake. It's just throughout the day even a text. So yeah, as you were saying that, that kind of got me thinking, I need to wake up with, or I need to think it toward the end of the day, have I done the three gratitudes? Because I think that that would help a lot. I've been doing that, but I don't think I've been doing up to three. I think it's been at
Mhm.
least one or two today,
Mhm.
but maybe if I kick that up a notch, that might help too.
Yeah, wow. And I want to let you know that since I've started doing that, my husband started thanking me for the little things I do for him, which I take care of the house and I do the laundry. And my husband, every time I do the laundry, he'll start thanking me. Oh, thank you for doing the laundry. And it's just kind of like we kind of are grateful for each other. And it's just so much more pleasant to be around. So I hear that it's a fit for you to do three gratitudes a day. I was just curious, do you have any gratitudes from the day before, from yesterday, that you would like to thank your husband for?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you, yesterday was um pretty amazing. This is the
Mhm.
first. So yesterday we went to dinner together on a Tuesday night and we went to a bachata dance class. And this was the thing that one of the big wins since I started this. And I've been telling him, 13 years did salsa classes and I loved it, but we never touched it again because he wasn't into it. And since this, he actually went and well, I told him that there was a class nearby, and this was a few weeks ago, and he went and scheduled it and arranged babysitting with my parents without me knowing. And that is the exact kind of stuff that I was really wanting. So, yesterday we went out to dinner and we did that and we had a good time. We had a lot of laughs. And so yeah, no, I was grateful for that. Grateful for him, arranging babysitting, grateful for him working so hard at his job. Um, yeah, there really are a lot of things, especially yesterday, to be grateful for and every day, definitely. So
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. I hear that your husband got your dream of like doing salsa classes again, and that happened yesterday.
yeah, that was really fun.
He arranged a babysitter.
Yeah,
He took care of all of that.
he did. Yeah, that was something that was reminiscent of the old days, so that was really nice.
Wow. Wow. So I I was wondering if it would be a fit for you to list 10 things that you're grateful for your husband now together.
Right now?
Yeah, if that's, yeah.
Yes, I can do that. Okay. All right. So, like things about him in general, or just things he's done recently?
Things that maybe why you decided to marry him, or why you were attracted to him in the first place.
Okay. Um, well, I'm grateful for his loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely very loyal. I trust him. Um, Grateful for his dedication to um the well-being of us. Like he spends hours researching the security camera for the house and making sure that the kids have what they need. I'm grateful for his participation in Taekwondo with the girls. He arranged that and he goes with them and he practices with them. Um, I'm grateful for how hard he works at his job. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he really works hard and I think he does a really good job. And from where he came from when we first got married, he's just gone to the stratosphere professionally, and I've always been proud of him for that. Um, I'm grateful for his dedication to his family, and respect for his family and my parents. He treats my parents better than I do sometimes. That's the truth.
Wow.
I'm grateful for how he fixes things. He fixes everything, and if he can't fix it, he's going to figure out how to fix it. He is a fixer.
Wow. Impressive.
I'm grateful for how good he is with computers because I don't know anything about them, and that is his wheelhouse, and I would be useless if I didn't have him to fix those things. Um,
Uh,
um, what else? Um, where am I? What number?
8.
Eight. Um, I'm grateful for his voice, his accent. He's British, and I've always loved his accent and his voice.
Wow.
So that's nice. And I'm just grateful for him loving me still, despite
Mm.
everything I've put him through. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I've always blamed him and his behavior. He's had issues with, like he's had rage issues for a long time. He actually sees a therapist himself for it. And I think that I use that as a crutch to throw all the blame on him. And he's the reason why I am the way I am. But reading this book has completely turned my view on this around. And I really do feel like he's not as bad of a person as I always made him out to be. And truly, I have a lot to work on with myself. So,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, there's, I think, a lot that can change now.
Yeah. Wow. So inspiring to hear that. I just want to let you know that you just got me a gratitude for my husband being good with tech. You said your husband is good with technology, and I never thank my husband for being good with technology because my husband is really good with technology, and he would help me sometimes. So I think I'm
Yes,
that one and use it for my husband too. Um,
yes. I
yeah.
think I thank him for me not needing to learn that stuff because I couldn't.
Yeah.
One more minute.
Okay. Thank you. So I want to ask you, what are you taking away from our call today?
Reminding myself to really implement gratitude, because not only is that important, the 3 per day is important, but also that's just something that's easy that I can do even on the craziest days.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that definitely pushing forward with that and really being intentional, not to neglect that and not let the frustrations of the day and the frustrations of all the things that have to be done kind of cloud over those gratitudes and things that I need to be doing and self-care, of course. So, I need to really work on pushing that to the forefront, but I can start with the 3 gratitudes, which really is not hard to do.
Yeah, yes. I hear your takeaway is remembering to implement the gratitude, which is easy and able to work with your busy schedule.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Lisa, what would you like to be acknowledged for?
Myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I think, I mean, I'm, I'm proud of myself for sticking with it. I
Mhm.
have, um, th this is something that I've learned for the past 8 years about dedication and just sticking with things. I've been on a health journey as well, and I actually became a weight loss coach. So I'm kind of do something similar, but along the weight loss spectrum and everything. And that came about, the weight loss and keeping it off is through pure dedication and 100% just keep it going. And even as no matter how crappy your day is or week or month, whatever. And I'm just really happy that I'm able to I'm taking that same focus and shifting it to this, which to me is more important too. I mean, so I'm happy that, like I said, we had a fight the other day that was pretty bad. I mean, it was really bad and but I went to sleep that night. I did not cry my eyes out and throw my rings or you know, tell him I wanted where I just basically calmly went to sleep and woke up the next morning and just kept on going. And
Wow.
the next day wasn't as bad as they've been in the past. He was softer and he was not as reactive, and the air in the house has changed. It
Wow. Yeah.
has.
Wow, Lisa, I want to acknowledge you for really, really being committed to your marriage and for changing the dance in your house. And I hear that the air in your house really changed. And I acknowledge you for that. And I also acknowledge you for being my client today and being so self-aware and accountable and for bringing your authentic self here. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have you fixed a problem in your marriage, big or small, using the 6 intimacy skills? If so, I would love to hear all about it and have you as a guest on the Empowered Wife podcast. If you're willing to make a big contribution to ending world divorce and pay it forward by inspiring other women with your story, go to lauradoyle.org/podcast-guest. That's lauradoyle.org/podcast-guest. And let me know that you're willing to make a big contribution to ending world divorce. I can't wait to meet you. Listen and subscribe to the Empowered Wife podcast. On next week's podcast, I'm going to share 3 secrets to restore the intimacy in your marriage. And in the meantime, I hope you are having lots of fun. Today's fun fact is that I've discovered that batch cooking is a great way to ensure that I always have food that is not what I'm in the mood for.